Ever wondered why your paycheck disappears faster than a Snapchat message? Do people even use Snapchat anymore? Oh, I still have it downloaded. Anyways, we've all been there when we look at our checking account and there's just less money in there than we thought. Turns out we Venmoed some friends for a let's have dinner and drinks night out, or we paid the phone bill and we paid the electric bill, and when it comes time to pay the credit card bill, we're like, where did it all go? We have all been there. And as a first-generation American and a recovering super saver, I still found myself in these situations from time to time. So, drop a comment with your biggest financial challenge currently as a first-gen wealth builder. I'm here to help. So, as a girl who works in wealth management, I've chatted with couples making six figures. I've chatted with individuals making six figures. I've chatted with individuals making multiple six figures, right? And they still feel broke. And I'm serious. They have no clue where their money goes each month. It's because they don't have a plan for each dollar that they're earning. And raise your hand if you've ever felt like your paycheck evaporates before the next one arrives. Let's fix that with a paycheck routine that actually works. Here's the exact paycheck routine that allowed me to save $60,000 in 3.5 years. And it allowed me to do this without even having to think about it. I'm serious. I checked my accounts 3.5 years in, and I had $60,000 in them. And I was like, what? I was shook. So yes, this paycheck routine right here, that's the system that I still use to this day. And back in the day when I was when I hit that $60,000 net worth mark, I was only making $40,000 on average working in the nonprofit sector in Indiana. And full transparency, when I started automating things, it wasn't as clean as it is now. I wasn't optimizing my investments and I kept way too much money in cash, but it's okay, we still made progress. And as the years went by, I was still able to kind of change things up and perfect my payday routine to work best for me in the moment. So this paycheck routine right here has allowed me to know that there's a system in place, and at every paycheck, I am one step closer to reaching my money goals. And as a recovering super saver, it allows me permission to spend more freely. I'm now not thinking like, oh, if I spend $20 on this shirt, it's gonna affect my retirement 40 years down the road. Oy. Yeah, there was a lot of unlearning that needed to happen. And other clients that I have shared the system with have used it to limit themselves with overspending, right? You give yourself permission to spend down your fun money account and know that you're still in line to meet your financial goals. All right, let's dive in. The secret is having a solid paycheck routine and giving every dollar a job. And before you say, but Wahida, budgets don't work on me, I've tried so many, I simply don't believe it, okay? You just need to find the right system that works for you. Traditional budgets don't work for a lot of people. It doesn't work for me. I feel like I don't really budget at all. I just spend from my one account and that's it. Everything else is just automated. So find the system that works for you, and it could be this one that I'm about to share. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to take control of your cash flow, so the money coming in and the money going out, so you can start building your wealth. It's a two-step system that can fast-track your savings and your investments. So, step 1, automate your savings and your investments. Step 2, project your expenses. That's it. Of course, there's a little bit more details in there, so let's go into it. Step 1, automate your savings. Here's how. So you set up your paycheck to go into your checking account, and you're gonna automate transfers to your savings accounts right after payday. So this makes sure that you're prioritizing your savings goals, and you know exactly when you're going to hit your savings goals. You can just calculate it out, right? And all you have to do is just let it happen. And pro tip, open a high yield savings account. That's going to earn you more interest than it would at a regular traditional bank that we all know the names of today, right? And since the transfer to your high yield savings account is automatic, you won't feel it. And if you run out of money or you have a thing that you really, really want to spend on, you could transfer the money back. It'll just take a few days. And by that time, if what you're spending on really wasn't a necessity, usually that urge to spend on it is gone. And before you come at me and say, but Wahida, what if I need my emergency fund and I can't access it right away? Put the emergency, if it's a true emergency, on a credit card, then transfer money from your emergency fund to pay it off. Next is to automate your investments. So start with your employer-sponsored plan to get that match. And usually this money comes before you get the paycheck anyway, so you don't see it. But it's very, very important to make sure you're getting this match if you're offered it, because it's free money. It's your money, really, actually. It's part of your benefits. So don't leave this on the table. Then we're going to set up contributions, automatic contributions to your investment accounts. So these can be accounts such as your Roth IRA and your HSA. And if you're able, max them out by the end of the year. Okay, here's the order of importance when I'm looking to fund my accounts. All right, step 2, project your expenses. Know your fixed costs. So know what the rent is, know what your average utilities are. If you have insurances, know what those are, and make sure those are getting covered each month. So what we're going to do is we're going to send money from that checking account, from your paycheck checking account, to your bills checking account. So these are 2 different accounts, right? Then you can automate those payments out every month, or pick a date every month so you can pay those bills off in full every month. Okay, and then the fun part is now you can allocate a portion of your paycheck for fun money. And we're going to send this into a separate account as well. This fun money is for you to spend on whatever you want. So we send it to a separate account because that way you can spend your fun money down to 0 and you know that you're still going to meet your financial goals, right? Spend this money on whatever you want. Maybe you want to eat out, maybe you want to go to massages, maybe you want to get gifts for people, whatever, I don't care. That's just what I listed. That's just what I spend my money on. But yeah, spend your money on whatever you want. So let me know in the comments where your fun money goes. All right, so here are the accounts that I send my money to. So you can kind of see what I'm saving for, and also the investment accounts I use. So I get paid every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks my money moves from my checking account to these different accounts that you can see here. So it's really similar to the setup that I had before. It's just now this is very personalized to like what I'm sending my funds to and what I'm like naming my accounts. So I already have a fully funded emergency fund, so I don't put money there anymore. And other savings goals that I have are like travel funds. So this is just every month I send $250 there. And then whenever I go on a trip, I pull money from that account. I don't really have to think about, oh, how will I budget this month? And I also have a savings account called Bish I Quit Fund. So that's just my FU money, right? Like if anything were to happen at work or anything were to happen anytime in my life and I'm just like, I'm done, I'm leaving, that money's there to catch me. Now, pro tip, name your accounts. This gives more meaning to what you're saving for instead of just seeing account numbers. And truly, it does help. I see money in the different accounts that I'm saving for, and I'm very reluctant to pull funds from like my travel fund so I can spend it on whatever I want, right? Like I really only allocate those travel funds for travel because travel is such a important thing for me to be able to like see friends and family whenever I feel like I want to. And you can also see that I've got 2 extra checking accounts here, one labeled Umi and the other labeled Abba. And that means mom and dad in Malay. These are joint accounts that I have with my parents, and I send money to these accounts every pay period. So I chose to do joint accounts because my checking accounts are at Schwab, and Schwab has an investor high yield checking account where they'll give you a debit card, which allows you to use it at ATMs free of charge anywhere in the world. And the cool thing is that if the ATM, so Schwab will never charge you, right, for pulling money out of an ATM, but the ATM itself may charge you a fee. So if the ATM is charging you a fee, Schwab will reimburse you for that. So it really, really comes in handy when I travel internationally. And it also comes in handy for my parents who live in Malaysia. So when they pull money out in Malaysia, it's free. So they're not paying a fee to pull money out of the ATM. And the exchange rate is just whatever the exchange rate is at the moment, right? So it's like you're just going to the bank where you bank at and pulling money out of your checking account. So it's been really, really nice to be able to send money this way to them. So yay to the immigrant trope where we are our parents' retirement plan. It's stressful. Let me know if you can relate. So this paycheck routine works because it simplifies things. Set it up once and let the system do the rest. And you'll know that every time you get paid, you're one step closer to your goals and you're providing for your family as well without even having to think about it. This is how I saved $60,000 in 3.5 years without even thinking about it. I swear, 3.5 years after my first job after college, I added up my net worth and it was at $60,000. And I had no idea it was that high. At the time, I was making $40,000 working in the nonprofit sector in Indiana. It's just to say the system works. And let me know in the comments your money wins that you've had. And remember, the goal is to make your money work for you. Automate as much as possible so you can focus on enjoying your life without having so many financial stresses, right? Like if you found this helpful, come back next Sunday for more tips. Bye, y'all.